Hello dear students, welcome to the another video tutorial of parasitology, and in this parasitology we are studying the different parasites and their mode of nature and their life cycles. Okay, so in last lecture we have seen the different types of the parasitology, the different branches, their medical importance, and the different terms which are coined in these parasitology to understand the parasite and the host relationship with each other. So in this today's lecture, we are focusing on the chapter second. We are studying this chapter types of parasite into the two sections, part 1 and part 2. So in this part 1, we are going to focus some types of the parasites, that ectoparasite and the endoparasites. Okay, so let's start with this session. So as we all know, the parasite is a living organism. It may be occur in animal as well as the plant, but we are focusing on the animal parasites. And these parasites receives nourishment and shelter from the host. Okay, and where it lives, that in host, that particular space or that particular organ get divided, these all parasite into the some different types. We are going to see the in couple of slides which are coming next. So the host is an organism which harbors these parasites. Okay, and thus parasites are metabolically dependent on their host and derive the benefits from that particular host. Okay, therefore the parasites live at the cost of their host. The conclusion from this parasitism, that the parasites are live on the host for the cost of their um, nourishment getting from the host itself. The parasitism is an association in which the parasite drives benefit and the host gets nothing in return, but always suffers from the injury. Host suffers from the injury, however slight the injury may be. Okay, the host at the same time offers some resistance to injury and done by the parasite. Okay, and there may be the some adaptations, the tolerance between the parasite and the host. A parasite has uh, lost its power of independent life. So here the parasite have a loss that we have studied, the gain and the losses in this last chapter, that we can add this particular point into that, that the loss of that parasite is his personal life, or that parasite's personal life get disturbed. So he that parasite is residing on other host, so its personal life, or this the parasite has lost the power of its independent type, and therefore there is a difference between parasite and a predator. So don't get confused in these two terms, which are maybe you may suppose that these are similar terms, but these are totally different. That the parasite and as well as the predator, these two terms are very much different from each other. That the parasite uh, does not kill the host, but in predator, what that predator is going to do, that predator is feed on that flesh of that particular type of host or that particular type of animal. So predator have to kill that organism or that animal to feed on its flesh. Okay, but parasite does not feed on the flesh. That parasite take the nourishment from um, the host nourishment. Okay, so the parasite does not kill, and these therefore the parasite lives in the complete harmony with the host, since it gets necessary benefits from it. Okay, while predator kills its prey in order to feed upon its flesh, that I have told. The parasite are you can coin the term from the parasite as a true businessman. Okay, so the true businessman in the sense that the in animal kingdom, because they live on income, that they prefer income, whereas the predator live on the capital. Okay, so the parasites does a blackmailer, and predator is a burglar. Okay, so there are several types of parasites recognized depending on their relationship to the host. They are classified in various ways, that the depending on their taxonomy, depending on the parasite's habitat, or depending on that parasite location, which location does that parasite resides, and degree of that parasitism which occur by this parasite, and variety of host, the location in host body and behavior of that particular parasite. So these all terms get divided, that the parasite into the some particular type of groupism. Okay, there are almost in all taxa contain parasitic organisms. So protozoa includes large number of parasitic species like amoeba, flagellates, ciliates, and the sporozoans. The phylum Platyhelminths uh, comprises parasitic flatworms like the liver fluke or the tapeworms, roundworms, hookworms are the representatives of a phylum Nematoda. So these are the common names of some uh, parasites from the Nematoda, and so you have to recite this common name as well as the scientific names of this particular type of the parasites, so that you will catch more easily that the what are these terms are going to see. And the phylum Arthropoda also shows some large numbers of parasite species like ticks, mites, insects, and crustaceans, some of the crustaceans. In vertebrates, there are uh, some vampire bats that are considered as a true parasites. Okay, true parasites means what? They are animal, and that are they are vampire bats. In next picture, these are the picture of this vampire bat. You can see in the picture that the vampire bats attack on some domestic or wild animals and suck their blood, so they are also known as a true parasites. Okay, so true ectoparasites we can see them. So wild animals, and so you can see in the second picture that the bat sitting on the dog, and that bat consumes the blood from that dog. Okay, um, and found attached to the gill tissues of a large catfish, and these one type of particular parasite known as candiru, and these candiru fish found attached to the gill tissues of the large catfish. So one large catfish is there, and um, and these small candiru fishes are attached beneath of its um, gill, so that it gets some nourishment, or you can see in the some particular type of big whales. So for that, on that, below the belly of that big whales, some small catfishes are get attached, so that the some if a whale is hunting some of the seals or these any any water body animal, so that the some pieces of that um, from that fish which is consumed by that big fishes like the blue whale or these sharks are get some part get to that small fishes which are attached to the belly of that particular large fishes. Oh, okay, so these are the some terms which are known as the true parasites. Okay, so let's get towards the first main type of these our parasites are known as the ectoparasites. So we are focusing on the types of parasites. The first one, ectoparasites. The parasites which live on the external surface of the body of the host is called as ectoparasites, and these parasites are attached to the skin of the host. Okay, for example, tick. Okay, or the hair of the host, that is or the feathers of the host. uh, Example is head louse. Okay, so these ectoparasites like mosquito and some bed bugs suck the blood from the human skin, and there are some ectoparasites which live just below the skin by making tunnels, and they resides the below the our skin, and the example of that parasite is itch mite. Okay, so ectoparasites are not fully dependent on the host. So this is a very important statement that the ectoparasite is not fully dependent on host. They are dependent on host for the nourishment, but they are not fully dependent, that they are getting their oxygen or their metabolic activities are not dependent on the host itself. So the ectoparasites are not fully dependent on the host. They take their nourishment and food from the host, but some metabolites like oxygen they take from the air. And ectoparasites are not permanently attached to the body. This is again the second most important statement, that they are not permanently attached to the body, to the body of host. They may change their site of attachment for getting some nourishment from the other part. They may crawl on the that host, or you can see you have seen some of the cattle or the dog or the cats having these type of a tick or the fleas on them, and they are numerously changing their particular places from here and there, and they are crawling on that um, particular host. So they are not fully dependent, and they can move their the they can move from one place to another place for the in search of the nourishment. So these are the some pictures of the ectoparasites, that are the in first picture you are going to see the itch mites, and these itch mites are very small in the size, that if you going to put a dot on the paper by the 0.5 mm that your pen, so the smaller than that dot are the these itch mites in actual size. But here the itch mites are focused by means of the um, some equipments known as the our electron microscope, or the our compound microscope. So in second picture you are going to see the picture of that the flea which resides on the some of the cat or the dog or our domestic animals, or some wild animals like the our some wild animals like the mice or the rats. Okay, so these are the fleas which are feed on the blood, and they are not utilizing the uh, metabolites from the host itself. And the third picture you can see the tick, the Buphilis, and the large one is the female, and the these spotted white and black spotted are the male. So these are the one particular type of the tick, and these are all together known as the ectoparasites, and some other examples are also there of the ectoparasites. So let's move towards the endoparasites, and the endoparasites that live within the body of their host in locations such as alimentary canal, liver, lungs, blood, or the urinary bladder, and are known as the endoparasites. Okay, so the parasites which resides in the host body. Okay, parasites that live within the body of their host are called as the endoparasites, and the location are mentioned in the bracket, that are the maybe the alimentary canal, liver, lungs, and blood, or the urinary bladder. So by means of their location, they are get separately divided into the endoparasites are get separately divided into some groups. Okay, so the these leads completely this endoparasitism leads completely, um, as show several modifications in their body structures for the adaptations of the endoparasitic mode of life. So these some modifications which they are going to occur by resisting our the human system. So these all modifications we are going to see, that may be the VSG variant surface glycoproteins, or the other things, the some mutations which are occurring themselves, that we are going to see at the time of the life cycle. And endoparasites are again classified in different types depending upon their occurrence and different organs and tissues of its hosts. Okay, and some parasites occur superficially on the tissue or the organs, whereas some lives inside um, the tissue organs. So let's get touch with the some endoparasites, again classified into different types on their uh, occurrence. Okay, the first type is superficial endoparasites. Okay, so what are these superficial endoparasites? Are the endoparasites which live on the epithelial surface of the alimentary canal, and some lives in the lumen of the our digestive tract. And the examples of these superficial endoparasites, like the ascaris or the hookworm or the ancylostoma duodenale, is a particular type of hookworm, and they live in the lumen of gut. Or the next the second example may be the Entamoeba histolytica, which occur on the epithelial surface of the um, host. So these visceral, the second type are the visceral endoparasites, and these visceral endoparasites, the parasite live inside the tissue, like blood or the muscles. They are classified into the following types. The visceral endoparasites are the classified into few several types, and the first, the small a, the first one are the blood or the humoparasites. Okay, so the parasites like Plasmodium, Trypanosoma are the blood. Um, the Trypanosoma means the blood fluke. The Cystosoma live in the blood cells or the red blood cells, and some or the in the blood plasma. Some stages of their life cycle are completed in the blood only. So therefore these parasites are called blood parasites or the humoparasites. Okay, so the examples are Cystosoma, Plasmodium, and the trypanosoma. So the second type of the visceral endoparasites are the lymph parasites, and these lymph parasites live in the lymph, the lymph vessels called as the lymph parasites. The examples are the Wucheria bancrofti or the filaria live in the lymph vessels. So we know that the Wucheria bancrofti or the filaria occurs as the disease known as the filariasis. So the third type. So these are the two type of the blood hemoparasites or the um, ancylostoma, which is resides on the surface of the gut of the epithelial surfaces. So these ancylostoma are also known as the hookworm, and the mouth of these ancylostoma having the suckers and having the hook to attach with the epithelial surfaces of our intestine. And these trypanosoma are the known as the blood fluke. These are resides in the red blood corpuscles of our blood, so known as the blood fluke. So you can see that these are two are the trypanosoma having the flagella attached with the flagellum, and the kinetoplast and the nucleus, and these are the well developed organisms, and these are well enough developed to uh, take some modifications on them, so that they cannot get catch by our uh, immune system. Okay, and get touch. Let's focus move towards the third visceral endoparasites known as the organ parasite. Some endoparasites live in the particular organ and cause damage to its uh, called organ parasites. So these organ parasites causing damage to the some particular organ, like the examples are the liver fluke, or its scientific name is fascicola hepatica, and lives only in the this fascicola hepatica lives only in the bile duct of the liver, and these are mainly found in the sheep, but accidentally the some humans are also get affected by these fascicola hepatica known as the liver fluke. And the second example are the um, uh, which live in the human lung. Okay, so the let's move towards the fourth um, let's move towards the fourth visceral endoparasite known as the muscle parasites, and these endoparasites live only in the muscles of the host, so known as the muscle parasites. And example of these muscle parasites are the Trichinella spiralis. So this Trichinella spiralis is spherical in shape. We are going to see pictures of this particular type of the parasites in the next slide. So this Trichinella spiralis is coiled structure of the one particular type of a nematode, and these the larva of these nematode parasite occur only in the muscles of the vertebrates, so known as the muscle parasites. And let's the fifth one, the tissue parasites. So tissue parasites and the muscle parasites, if you get confused in this, the some nematodes lives in the subcutaneous tissues, and these um, uh, tissue parasites lives in the subcutaneous tissues, and these muscle parasites lives only and only in the muscle tissue, so known as the muscle parasites. So these tissue parasites, some nematode of parasites live in the subcutaneous tissue of the host. So the female guinea worm, or a scientific name of this female guinea worm, is Dracunculus mediensis. Or these some other some species of these Dracunculus are so seen in the environment, and these name as the guinea worm uh, is due to The first occurrence of this case in the Guinea worm in the Guinea. This is the country from the Africa continent, so named as the Guinea worm. And this Dracunculus mediensis lives in the subcutaneous tissue of a human host. So this life cycle of this Dracunculus mediensis is very interesting, and we are going to see in the fifth chapter of the life cycle of some parasites. So uh, these are the some pictures. So in first picture that you are going to see that the coiled structure of this Trachinella spiralis, and the second picture is very well stained, and the you can see in between the Trachinella spiralis is occurred in between the muscle cells, and these are the peripheral cells, are the muscle tissues. In the second picture you are going to see the someone having one particular type of stick, and these are coiling these Dracunculus species, that the Guinea worm, to the that stick. So these Guinea worms are several meters in the length, and these so if these particular type of these Guinea worms are get um, out from this body of the host by this traditional or the traditional method, by some lifting um, through the that particular stick of this wood. And one interesting concept is that you should know the symbol of the doctors, which doctors are using. Okay, so you can know that the some symbol of doctorate, some doctor people are using on their vehicles. So how that symbol is get originated? So that symbol is originated from this particular exercise which are going to see in these Dracunculus or the Guinea worm species, that the one particular stick is there, and that winged type of a stick, and that something is coiled on that stick, uh, is that nothing but the this worm, that the extraction method, that this physical extraction method is shown on that particular type of the symbol of a doctor. So this was very interesting to know, that the symbol of the doctor is an one particular type of worm is coiled on the stick. So we are going to stop here. So thank you guys, and hopefully we are in touch with the second part of this type of the parasites. So thank you.